Did I say that right?
You said it
Is
right.
Is it Lynsey or
Listen,
Lynsey?
as long as you call me by a real name, I get Wendy more often than I get
As long as you don't get
Lynsey.
Karen.
And I joke with everyone, my mom had too much epidurals. I have 2 Y's and no D, no I, no A. So I'll take what I can get. But yes, Lynsey.
You got it.
Thank you, sir. Now,
awesome.
we spoke last week about our shared Aries.
Yes.
And our affinities to the Juju, if you will.
Yeah.
So I wanted to start our segment by reading you our horoscope
Okay,
today.
perfect. Let's read it.
It's not good news, Rob.
Uh-oh. Well, maybe is that just for today or this week, or is that?
This is just today.
Okay.
So you go to bed,
All right.
you can wake up from this. But it says that this week is not likely to be the one where you hit the ground running. It says that you might be more inclined to artistic work over intellectual work, and that your level of inspiration is high with these ideas. It could benefit other people, but you have no patience for emails, calls, or errands. It says you should use your daydreaming time to come up with some new adventures and spend some time thinking about maybe a vacation or a date with your loved one. And this leads me to a business-related question for you.
Okay.
You are the head of a really well-oiled machine. You also have ADHD, and you're an Aries. Do you find you lean your efforts more towards the fun, creative shit or the day-to-day ass kicking, and why?
It is the fun stuff. I do like if I have the vision of starting something and I get it started. I love starting projects. I love it, and I love going through with it. The ending is sometimes where I need the help, where somebody has to finish the ending for me. And I think it just depends how long the project is. Right now I'm finishing our Burlington office, and oh my God, that was a 2-year ordeal with the city of Burlington. I mean, they're so brutal in dealing with, just dealing with them is just brutal. And it's not just me. I thought I was the only one. I thought I was being they just didn't like me. I did not know if they were prejudiced or whatever. But everybody goes through this. Everybody in Burlington goes through this.
Can you share with us what's the location of that office?
It's right on Brant Street, right across from No Frills.
So you're in the hub.
I'm in the hub.
And the Roca sisters told shut it
3 doors down. They actually bought and opened after I bought, but they didn't do any renovations. They probably just put a paint job.
Called it
and opened
painted
it up.
it pink.
Painted it pink and opened it up. But yeah, they would go in and measure the bathroom. Oh no, you're 4 inches or 3 inches too small. You have to move the wall. And really, there shouldn't have been anything done. We changed 2 studs that were broken when we took all the walls down. We were leaving everything exactly the same way, but now they made me get a site plan, get this survey, get a site plan. I had to put an enclosed wheelchair lift for the front porch. They put me through a lot of stuff that was unnecessary, and I did feel that I was targeted by somebody, and people that that have gone through this, they'll understand it. But yeah, I just went through it and I did what they said, and but if I was 20 years old, yeah, and they were holding me off like this, I would have been pretty pissed off, because there's no way I would be able to afford to keep hold on to this property and have no money generating to pay for it. So anyway, we're at the finish line. We have a final inspection happening, and they should be happy for what I've done to that property, and especially the neighboring businesses. They're going to look at this and say, "Wow, you know what? I'm bettering Burlington," and so let's hope things turn out. But I'm looking forward to it. We're doing our soft opening with our agents that live in the Burlington area on Monday next week, and I'm excited about that.
I'm sure they're grateful, because coming over the Skyway or around through York on a bad day is a pain in the ass.
Yeah,
so it'll save them hours.
Oh yeah, it's what it is. We felt like we have a lot of Burlington agents that work on my team, and we just said, hey, and I knew that having a spot for them to go to is important to them. So it's also an investment. I buy real estate as an investment. And so the combination of both is a good thing. You know what I mean? Real estate, that's where it's at. We buy it, sell it, and do everything in between.
Well, this is the catch-22 of having big creative ideas, right? It's all fine and dandy when you're in bed excited about your lighting and your carpets for your new space. And then reality hits and you're 400 emails deep fighting with Lord knows who. There's also a collusion piece to it. And Burlington, Hamilton, like wherever it is, whenever we're looking at the city, I always wonder. So an example is they instituted the new handicap accessible bathroom bylaws. So your building would be grandfathered, but I have a hairdresser that was opening their shop. Yeah. And it was nearly $20,000 to have the light activated, touch activated, roll-in buttons done. Now, he, in his current book, doesn't have anyone who would need that. Moving forward, he could always be introduced to a client that requires this kind of access. And then they took the bylaw out. So $20,000 later, he's got a bathroom that will sing you to sleep. And they decided that was no longer the thing. And my first question was, whose cousin got out of the button industry? Yeah. Right?
No kidding.
Who dictated that this was mandatory to flip in less than 18 months? And who was making money off of it?
Oh, for sure. It's just like, what is it? REA wants us to have benefits and force that onto us, and which a lot of people have benefits, but somebody got some back pay on that one. Somebody got some envelope in their back pocket there that paid somebody for this benefit program that really, it's hardly going to get used, but I wonder how long it's going to last, because there's a lot of there was a lot of backlash, but they still held strong. So I like to see the sales guy that sold that to REA, and I just, I mean, just stuff like that is just getting that I mean, I don't mind it. I can afford to pay it, but it's unnecessary money. They should give us a choice. Do you want it? We have it. But no, they forced it on you, and they said you have to have it, and it doesn't even have dental. So what use is it? It doesn't have dental on there, and there's a bunch of other things it doesn't have. So we're paying X amount of dollars for benefits that is really going to be not even used, and
somebody in Toronto got offered a VP position when they walked in with this multi-billion dollar ongoing.
Oh yeah, how many? 100,000? 100,000 people. Can you imagine having?
What is it at 800 a pop annually?
Yes, at 100,000. Yeah, I wonder, somebody got a big commission check for that one, and plus who knows what else was behind the back door or the alleyway that somebody got paid for that one. Yeah, and people may argue against me with that. There's no way. That's bullshit. There's no way. You don't force this on to everybody. There's a collusion with a bunch of people on this one.
So somebody got the right end of that windfall, for sure. I also think I have questionable faith in all of the different levels of our governance. And as soon as I saw that come out, what I thought was, this is a cool opportunity to trim some fat. Yeah. And we talked last week about the barrier to entry in real estate and how there's a lot of different types of agents. Yeah. And it's really quick and easy to say, if you don't have $800 this year to pay X bill, could have been anything. Yeah. It could have been we want to register your cell phone number, give us $1,200. But what they're looking for is folks that can't afford to pay that bill because they're not performing. Yeah. And we'll be waiting for third quarter data to see.
Oh, for sure. To see who dropped out.
To see who dropped out and what our numbers look like. Yeah. Back to your horoscope, my creative villain. Onto the second portion, saying maybe you should plan some vacation. I know you're in Italy in the fall.
I was in Italy, August, September, and then I was in Jamaica. Okay. I actually forgot the Jamaica in the first week of first week of December. Okay. I went with a group of realtors in Mississauga. And that was a great vacation. I only went for 4 days. Okay. I was only there for 4 days. I went in after they arrived, and I left before they left. And it was actually it was impactful. And I actually had a good rest on that one. I had one day that I actually slept. I was ready to go on an excursion on a boat, and I can't remember what it was supposed to be. We were supposed to meet in the lobby at 1:15. And it was 5 to 1. And I said, I'm just going to go in for just a quick little lay down rest. And my wife goes like this. She goes, I don't know if I feel like going. And right away, that was my way out. I said, you know what? I'm going to stay back. And I just paid for that excursion that morning. Right. And I was glad that I didn't go, because everybody that did go on, a lot of them got seasick because it was really wavy. And I got the best rest that day, like you would not believe. I came back just rejuvenated and rested, and I needed that. That one day of sleeping in my hotel room for the whole day, and then I went out at night and had dinner and you know, had a few drinks after that. Yeah, it was good. I needed that one day of just power napping, and I enjoyed it. It was something that I needed. So the next one, I don't know if I have anything booked. Yeah, I was just in New York City.
I know. Meeting with another fearless leader.
Yeah.
How was that?
Ryan Serhant. Okay. This guy, very brilliant. I was at his office, and he has got an amazing machine going on there. Like, it's 4 stories. I don't know how many square feet it is. It's got to be at least, 5,000 to 6,000 square feet, maybe more. And he had, every floor had different departments and, podcasts. He had one floor pretty well just all media that does all his, like his filming and put everything together. And it was amazing. But we sat in a boardroom with him and exchanged ideas. He wanted to know a little bit of all of us. There was about 10, 12 of us there. And the guy is flawless. Like, if you saw, he looks like a wax figure. He's too perfect. His skin is too perfect.
Well, did you know that's where he started? He was a hand model.
Yeah, like
he entered the world as an adult working individual as a hand model.
I'm looking at this guy. I'm going, like, everybody in the room is like, looks like crap. Like, even though they looked good, but this guy, literally, if he stood up still and not move, did not move, you would think he's a wax figure.
Any substance behind the beauty? Interesting guy to talk to. Great ideas.
Oh no, very good, very smart. He was made for this.
Okay.
There's no doubt about it. He is driven. He's got the talent. He's got the smarts. He has everything. And this guy's only 39, 40 years old. So he's pretty well just getting started. Wait another decade. What's going to happen for this guy? This guy is going to be a super wealthy. I would assume he's wealthy now, but he's going to be super wealthy in the next 10, 15 years. He just, I learned a lot. I recorded my, our sit down, in the boardroom with him. And usually when I, if I'm going to seminars and everything, I hit my recorder, and then what I do is I write down the time that an important point has come up, so then I can go back and say, okay, 6 minutes into the meeting, I'll write down what he was talking about. Then I can listen back when I have time by myself or whatever. But first time I was in Soho. Really? I like this. Very trendy area. Very, very nice. I definitely would go back in that area and check it out. I just did a walk around. I flew in the morning and I flew back at night. I was gone. I was only in New York City probably for, I don't know, maybe 8 hours, 10 hours.
You're quick and dirty, in and out.
Yeah, that's it. I lost my passport, though.
You did not?
Thank God I had Nexus, because if I didn't, I'd still probably be in New York City trying to figure a way to get back to Canada.
I'm sure you could enjoy a couple extra days.
Yeah,
but did they find your passport?
So I didn't call in yet. So I'm going to call. There's a number to call it with Air Canada or whatever to see if somebody handed it into Air Canada Center. So I haven't got a phone call from anybody, but I'm ready to cancel it. Actually, I got to do it. I should do it today or tomorrow.
I don't hold the passports. That's not my job.
Yeah. Oh, hubby does.
Scott is a vacation warrior. Yeah? He straps a fanny pack across his chest like he means business. And we went to Florida just after Christmas. And we fly out of Buffalo. We found it's just so convenient.
Yep. Yeah.
And we're coming over the border, the car full of people. It's 3:00 in the morning, and Scott has not prepared the passports to the first page.
Oh, yeah.
I thought they were going to turn us around.
Yeah.
He pissed that border guard off.
Oh,
like,
no kidding.
But
yeah.
You need to have these prepared. Well, it's a stack of 5 of them, for goodness.
Right here, take it. Yeah, they don't like it.
I thought our flight was going to be jeopardized, but we wouldn't have got on it if I was in charge of them, because they'd have been at home. So.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. No kidding. Oh, somebody's at my door. See that?
Delivery for Rob.
That's it. Yeah. I thought I put this on silent. There it goes. But yeah, no, I lost it. But thank God I had Nexus to come back, and I asked them, can I get back home with Nexus? They go, no problem.
Where were you flying? Pearson?
Well, I'll tell you the story. So I originally booked American Airlines.
Okay.
And so American Airlines, the day before, around noon, says the flight's been canceled. Okay, no problem. Flight's been canceled. I get on the horn, start looking for another flight. So I booked Air Canada from Toronto. I was going to fly out of Buffalo, so then I booked Toronto. Then that night, they say, no, it's back on again. Well, you can't do that to me. Like if
They're
you're
just shuffling business.
You know what? That's
that
bullshit.
point.
So I'm gonna be filing a complaint against them. I hope they give me a credit on my flight. I'm gonna tell you that. And if they don't, I'll never fly American Airlines again. So American Airlines, I'm gonna be coming out looking for my credit. I'm not looking for a refund. I get it. I'll do the credit. Because I will book a flight again. But I hope they give me the credit on my credit card. So I book Air Canada. So I fly there, no problem. And then I'm there for the day, dinner, lunch, and everything with the group. And then I get back to the airport, and I knew I needed a pair of cheater glasses because I lost my really good ones. So I was at the the stores that are inside the airport.
Like in the airport,
yeah. So I saw a pair, and I said, okay, I'm going to buy these. And I think I left it there. So, and of course, these stores in the airport do not have a phone number where you can call, Google them, say, hey,
I left my shit.
Yeah, no, nothing like that. So anyway, but
you need a Manny pack, my friend. You need.
I do have a carry-on, but I didn't. I didn't. You know what was so great about flying that day? All I had was like a shoulder thing with my computer, and that's it. I didn't have to have carry-on. I didn't have to have nothing. It was great.
Like
walking
an international
on. It was like me going on the GO train going to Toronto from here.
Oh, that's a good feeling, and not the typical travel experience.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
We have planned a really exciting trip.
Ooh.
Kids have a PA day on Friday.
Okay.
The last thing I want to do is be stuck in my house with them.
Yeah.
So we are going to go and try to dodge staph infections at Great Wolf Lodge.
Oh.
Watch me go, Rob.
Yeah.
That's an invitation. I know it's closer to you than it is
to
me. You can hop in for a quick slide.
I've never been there.
It is a life experience for sure. If you want to get wet in public with strangers, it's the best way to do it in a cold weather month. And it is the first thing the children said when they heard we were going. This is the kind of money grab it is. The boy says we doing the buffet.
Oh, there's a buffet.
Said, yeah, we couldn't just like bring our own food and have cold sandwiches. We got to hit the buffet. Sure, Daniel, we're going. The girl says, we going to the kids' casino? I said, excuse me.
Oh, they're teaching kids to gamble.
It's an arcade in the basement.
Oh, wow.
And she wants to, swimming is secondary to winning erasers at the Great Wolf Lodge arcade. So it's a place to be. If you need me, I'll be on my phone.
So there's a guy, our media graphics guy. He was just there, I think, a week or two ago. And he goes pretty often. Like he takes the kids there, and it's he has a great time there at Great Wolf Lodge. I think I'm not sure if he goes for 2 nights or whatever. You guys are going for 2-3 nights? 1
night only. We have family obligations over the weekend and a couple new listings coming up. It's also like very expensive for the quality of accommodations.
So if you were going for 1 night only, so you would get there at noon on the Friday.
Yes.
Right, and then you would leave noon on the Saturday.
Yes.
But can you stay all day Saturday, even though you have to get out of your hotel room, obviously?
You got to bring them down your luggage, and I think you can stay as long as you want.
You just don't have a place to,
you got nowhere to sit, nothing. Now, they'll give you somewhere to sit. You can rent a cabana for a cool couple hundred.
Oh, no kidding.
If you feel so. And this is where, like, the add-ons keep coming, right?
Well, the Great Wolf Lodge, I'll tell you, do you know who the owner of Great Wolf Lodge is?
No, tell me.
Pattison's. You ever heard of Pattison Signs?
Okay, yes.
Well, Jim Pattison is the one that started Great Wolf Lodge. Just prior to COVID, they were going to open up another one in Vancouver.
Okay.
But then I think things got changed, so they haven't opened up the second one yet, and it was supposed to be in Vancouver, a Great Wolf Lodge there. So I don't know if that's going to start back up again, but it is popular. And Great Wolf Lodge in Niagara Falls is not like in the center area. It's just kind of like it's in Niagara Falls, but it's not like on the main strip of where hotels are. It's just a little bit off the beaten path, but they're busy, and they're packed over there, and I hear so many things. I hear so many people go to this.
Well, what else are you going to do in Canada in February? Like our options are so limited. From an infrastructure cost, it's an amazing business model because people are itching to do something. For sure. Yeah.
I mean, what else is there? What else can you do? Like, I mean, let's say you don't like snow. What else can you do? Like if you don't like ice skating, if you don't like swimming, I guess swimming at Great Wolf Lodge.
It's a lot of water slide business for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, if you've got children and you're stuck in this snowy tundra, your options for spending more than 3 hours somewhere are super limited. And we are going to have the pleasure of going. That's how we're. So
you guys are staying at Great Wolf Lodge. You're not going Clifton Hill.
No.
Not going to check any of those things. Not going to go on the Ferris wheel or the haunted houses or anything like that.
No. So my kids are 5 and 7.
Okay.
And they're worry warts. My boy's pretty extreme. My girl is not doing most of that stuff.
Right.
And Scott and I enjoy our adult time in Niagara. We like all of the things out in that direction. We like the casino, we like the show, we like a bite to eat, we like a trip over to Buffalo. So that's more of an adult play place for us.
Oh,
but
gotcha.
It's very true. We're looking at how are we going to fill this PA day and get these kids out of our house, and the options are like super limited.
That's not bad, eh? 24 hours you're there, and then you're back home, and then you're back on track. That's
absolutely.
it. That's awesome.
Yeah. That for us.
So there's some other things here.
Hit me.
Okay. So here's a question. Can guys and girls be best friends while they're married to somebody? So can that happen?
It's funny you say it. So you'd mentioned this.
Do you have a guy that's a best friend, but you're married to your husband?
Me personally, no.
Yeah.
We have a best friend couple.
Okay.
And we are 4 people who love each other very much.
Yeah.
And I respect both the husband and wife in the couple we are best friends with. But nobody would argue that she is my best friend and he is Scott's best friend.
Or you're best friends with him or vice versa. That doesn't count. No, I'm talking about a guy, just a guy, you're best friends with him. Do you think that ever works with any relationship?
Well, and I was thinking about that question because you'd posed it to me earlier, and I don't have a lot of long-standing relationships. I don't have a best friend from kindergarten, okay?
Yeah.
The majority of my very good friends are later in life. We've met through business, or I've helped them buy a house, or mutual friends. So when you ask it like that, I put myself outside of my brain space and think, if I had a best friend from kindergarten, would I care what's in their pants? I'm married to my husband and I still have a best friend from kindergarten. And that's not my circumstances.
No.
Could you?
Or would your husband allow it?
Would my husband allow it? Would he have a choice is a better question. But no, you're right. And it makes me think about our photographer up until recently was a single gentleman. And Scott's parents have a cottage in Muskoka, okay? And we usually... It's not that we take turns. I send him so that I can work and the children are gone. There you go. And one night I was by myself and our photographer, Michael, is by himself. And I said, like, we should have dinner together. Why would we eat separately? We're both working on the same media videos. Yeah. Let's just like do this all in one spot. And I remember Scott saying, that's strange.
Yeah.
And I remember saying, you got a camera on the front door. You know when he came. You know when he went. We ate Thai food. We couldn't be less interested. And I could see how it would go on their radar. But when you asked me the question, I thought more about it from a couple's perspective, and it made me laugh. I have a group of 12 ladies in the neighborhood where I live. And we found each other, and we all really like each other, and we hang out. We do a monthly something to do, and we got a pretty decent WhatsApp chat going.
Yeah.
And some of them have very interesting husbands, interesting careers, interesting life stories. We got a guy that could tell you anything that's ever happened in a WWE match for the last 20 years. We have an arborist, which is like, I would love to chat with that guy. I love it all. But here's the thing. It only took 2 meetings together for me to know why each one of these women's husbands is an absolute piece of shit. So if the gateway
Let's hope they don't listen to this.
To your new male friend is their wife, chances are you don't want to be friends with them by the time you're done with the introduction anyways.
No kidding.
What about you? How long have you been married?
A long time.
How many?
30 years plus. I couldn't do it. I would be out. I'm not. I did have a girl as a really close friend in high school. That changed one night when we went babysitting.
Babysitting.
We got into the liquor a little bit, and it was. I just feel it can't happen. I wouldn't do it now because it's a recipe for disaster for any marriage or couple that wants to stay as a couple. And people say, oh yeah, we can do it. There's always, especially, I don't know, either one or the other, there's going to be a sexual attraction.
Well, and that's it. Like, what commonality is going to overcome hormones, right?
I think a guy can have, or no, a girl can have a guy friend if he's gay.
Can a guy have a girlfriend if she's gay?
A heterosexual guy would probably not have a gay girlfriend.
A gay best friend.
Yeah. I think girls love the guys gay. They love doing these little pajama parties. And I think these guys, they got it made because they're fake gays. Because they want to be in those pajama parties. They're fake gays. I do. I think I would, you know what? Think about this. All these girls, they say, "Oh yeah, Rob, he's my best friend. You know, he's gay, and you know, we're inviting him over to our pajama party." I'd be right in there with that pajama party. I would fake it that I was gay.
Your wife would hate that.
No, I know she would not like it. But if I was like single, and a bunch of girls were inviting me, and I pretended I was gay, and they invited me to a pajama party, I'd be right in there.
Okay, well, let's unpack this quickly, because I think the reason those men are invited is because you can't fake your way through the enthusiasm they have for what these women say.
They would not invite me.
And they wouldn't want, you couldn't pay.
And I couldn't even fake gay. I couldn't even fake gay.
You couldn't.
No.
You couldn't have the enthusiastic level they have. Do you want to show up in matching pajamas? That's what it requires.
I know. But I would like to be in that party, that pajama party, but I don't think they would invite me because I'm a regular heterosexual guy. But I'm seeing these back. I'm seeing these gay guys. They're getting invited to these little fun little parties these girls are having.
Parties? What are these parties?
I'm hearing about it. Yeah, like I don't know. Like it's talk about fun for them.
We certifiably have no male attendees, and I'm trying to extrapolate this.
Yeah.
If we met two dads and one of them wanted to come party with us, what would we do? We'd have them there in a minute. We're all down for fun. The more the merrier. You're not wrong. But I'll tell you, in terms of making new friends as an adult, who's a woman who's married, I can't see that flying.
No, I don't think that. I don't think it's good. I don't think it's a bad recipe, and I think maybe you know both parties are single, like Seinfeld. Like you know how Elaine and Jerry, they're friends, right? They can hang out with each other with George and Kramer and all that kind of stuff. But
what does that say about Elaine? Is she the gay one at the hangout?
No, Elaine, no. She
got invited to that party?
Because she's the one that's having the party, but she didn't invite those guys.
She's keeping them in line by the skin of her teeth.
But if Jerry got married, you think the wife would want him hanging out with Elaine all the time, having coffee every day, hanging out at the apartment and stuff like that? Probably not. That relationship ends the day he gets hooked up and married with somebody, unless his bride to be or whatever would allow it. But I mean, this is like what do you call it? An Oprah Winfrey kind of a discussion.
Well, it is. And I'm another macro level is this is all the more reason why people should be buying houses together. It's much harder to leave if you've got collateral.
Well, exactly.
If you're worried that your wife's going to the gym to talk to the guys to find a new best friend, you should probably buy a house. It'll make it harder for everybody to fall apart.
There you go.
Right?
That's right.
Let's bring it back to real estate.
Get the foundation in there.
Yeah, get a contract under your belt.
Oh, yeah.
See who you want to talk to then.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Absolutely.
For sure. But it's, you know what, I just don't feel, I think that is tough, and definitely, it's a tough one. It's a tough one. So what else is going on? So what's your routine in the mornings?
Oh boy. So my children, have the most absurd school schedule. They go to public school in Hamilton. They start at 8:20. And I understand that one. If you have an office job, this is perfect timing for you. They're done at 2:40.
That's early.
This is when business people have lunch. Like it really requires you to plan out your day. And Scott and I pride ourselves. One of us picks them up and drops them off every day together if we can do it. We've tried not to call in too much help on that front because this is like when they've got the most to exhaust, right? So we're going to be there. But because I take my children to school at 8:20, I can assure you I don't look like this when I do it. I don't think the mums at school would know that this is the Lynsey that's dropping the Fosters off at 8:20. So
you got the tinted windows going on in the car, and then just drop them off and then go.
We walk. This is very important. Nice. I have a 5-year-old boy. He needs to exhaust. If he eats so much as a pure carb for breakfast, we know we have to run to school because it's going to affect his day. But yeah, I do it with sunglasses and a hat on because I'm scary. I'm a night owl, so my morning routine is abysmal. You're way more likely to catch me up doing something at 2:00 when my brain operates than to be up at the 5 or 6 o'clock.
What time do you go to bed?
Like, varies depending on how excited and creative I'm feeling or what mess in the house is ongoing. But I would say midnight is a standard. 2 isn't a terrible push. And as a result, being up at 5 o'clock is not when I'm doing anything productive. So we start our days later, but we go later. Last night, so we film these on Mondays. Last night I was negotiating until 11.
Yeah.
Right? You can't possibly expect me to be in a sauna at 4 if I'm dealing with people's life interests late. So, and I actually was watching a really interesting vlog post. It was a lady in business, and I think folks who are self-employed and don't have to be somewhere every day will take something interesting from this. She said she has a minimum morning routine. And what she found was when she woke up ugly and stayed ugly, she was missing opportunities. And she said, it's 11 o'clock and someone wants to have a meeting and she's postponing it for 2 days when it fits in her calendar. So she set this minimum standard. Every day she needs pants with a button. She's going to do her hair and she's going to put lipstick on. And what she found was she was saying yes to those opportunities. She got that call at 11 o'clock. She wasn't booking it for Wednesday.
Right.
She was saying, I'll meet at Starbucks in 35.
Perfect.
I'm ready to go.
Yeah.
And so I've started incorporating that into
you have to do it. You got to, when you get up, you got to just get the ball rolling and just get yourself ready to go. Like my schedule is I'm up early. I'm up really early. Like I'd say maybe 2-3 days a week. I'm up somewhere between 3 and 3:30. 2 days a week, 2-3 days. The rest of the time, it's usually between probably about 4 and 4:30, maybe 5 o'clock, somewhere between 4 and 5.
Okay.
So it's very early, and the reason why I probably end up waking up at 3 in the morning or 3:30 in the morning is because I probably had a nap on the couch the night before, and my body, I guess, clock is once I get 4 or 5 hours, I'm up. I try to sleep. I take magnesium. Nope, I'm up. So I'm going, what am I going to do at 3:30 in the morning? So I like watching the History Channel. So I'll watch, Pawn Stars or American Pickers. And now they put SWAT and NCIS on there. I'm like, this is a History Channel, not these
murder mysteries,
murder mystery shows or whatever. But and I'm going, okay, I don't want to go to the office that early. So I'll just sit and watch TV for about an hour and, maybe 2 hours, and then I'll get up. But I'm usually here at the office between 5 and 6, but usually average, I'd say 5:30, 6 o'clock. That's usually my average time that I'm here in the morning. So I've got 2.5 hours, maybe 3 uninterrupted time. I get a lot done, and then throughout the day, I kind of just walk around, check to see what everybody's doing, try to get a lot of different things done. But I do get a lot of things done that early in the morning
with no support here, just
no support. Solo. Yeah, and then my assistant, she'll come in rolling in probably around 8 o'clock, and then she'll have a list of things to do, and then I'll say, these are the things I need checked out. And then like usually before noon, it's pretty good. Then after that, it's I may end up going one of the other offices that I have, or if somebody needs me to be with them on an appointment, I will go on that appointment. But the biggest problem I have though is when I get home. If I go home at 4 or 5 o'clock, and I'm getting home now, my everything's starting to shut down, right? I'm in my comfort zone. So I'll sit and watch TV, and then if I can get a power nap, I will. And if I can only just get maybe a half-hour power nap or 20-minute power nap, get up, I'm good for the night. But sometimes but it's at nighttime when I'm watching TV at 9 o'clock at night and I pass out. That's where my sleeping schedule screws up. And I'm trying to do things at night. I go home. I'll say to my wife, let's do something. I don't want to stay home. I don't want to pass out on the couch. I want to stay awake till at least 11 o'clock so I can, go to bed at 11, wake up at 4 or 5 in the morning. I had my 5 hours, 6 hours sleep if I can get that in one shot without splitting it out through the day.
That's interesting.
It is, yeah.
I sleep very soundly when I sleep, and I think my body would take as many hours as it could get. But I have other forces at work, right?
You got kids. Yeah.
And some days those kids are up at 5, and some days
Yeah.
I'm waking them up at 8, going, "You got to move your asses," right?
Yeah.
But that's where I can see the value of the power nap, because if the boy sleeps for an hour, he's up all night. It's all he needs to recharge.
Yeah.
That's an interesting.
My favorite day is Saturday, is when I get a nap in the afternoon. I just love it.
That's good for you?
Yeah, because you know what? I got an easy day. I'll get up early. I'll go to the gym and, do a fair, strong workout. I usually do about 3 kilometers. There's a what do you call it? A track at the YMCA where I go to.
Okay.
Now, 12 times around is 1 kilometer. So I do a sprint once around. I walk once around. I do a sprint once, so every other lap is a sprint. And so it brings your heart rate up and bring it back down. But when I get home, I'll do some things, maybe go, to one of the offices, do some things. So I'll get back around 12, 1 o'clock. That's when I just kind of leave it, like, crash. And then Saturday night, I'm good. I'm like,
you're ready to go.
I can party like a rock star till 4 a.m. if I wanted to.
I love that.
Yeah.
And at what point did your children get old enough that you could take a nap? They're not interrupting you now.
Well, nobody lives with me now, so
Thank God.
they're gone. But I mean, sometimes they'll come over. I'll get up and stuff like that. But if I get a half hour on a Saturday afternoon, I'm good. I'm good. Like, I'm solid.
Do you ever wake up and you don't know what fucking day it is?
I did. One day I did. I thought it was the next morning, and I was like, and I don't know what happened. I think my wife was sick. She gets up, and it was dark, and I literally thought I slept all night on the couch. And I get up, I go, well, and I got like
Where
radical.
am
I just didn't know what time it was. I'm thinking she's just letting the dog out to go to the washroom early in the morning. And I'm thinking I slept like almost like 20 hours or whatever. And then I go, what time is it? What time is it? We have a little clock on top of our fireplace. It doesn't work. And we end up, I can't go by that clock, so I have no idea what time it was. But yeah, I got mixed up. And sometimes you ever get that cold sweat? Well, not a cold sweat, but you wake up thinking you have an appointment and you missed it, but you already just went through it, or it's the next day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you're thinking that you slept
through something important.
And then you have to go to this appointment, and then you realize, oh, I already did it, or it's not till tomorrow or something like that. Like that shows you like
where your
workaholics.
Brain, yeah, exactly. Well,
so.
I have incredibly vivid dreams if I have a really short sleep. So if I don't hit REM, if I took one of those 30-minute naps, I have like aggressively vivid dreams. And I'd love to tell you that they're about work appointments that I'm waking up forgetting about, but they're not. I'm usually sleeping with a neighbor. And every time I wake up, I tell Scott, I'll be like,
oh, you're sleeping with a neighbor? Oh, you must have
all I have to say is, you'll never guess what just happened. And Scott will be like, were you sleeping with a neighbor? And I say, I don't know what it is.
Who is the...
No, it always changes. And here's the one thing.
You got a lot of neighbors then.
Sometimes they have no faces. Sometimes, and it's only if it's a 30-minute nap ski.
Yeah.
And so I've stopped myself. We have a couch in the back room of our house. We call it the cloud. And the joke is that I don't sit on it, because if I do, I'll fall asleep. And if I fall asleep and it's only for a quick stint, we've got to have dinner ready, it's not going to be a good night for our family, because I will have to address Scott and let him know that I just took a 30-minute nap in the back room, and you'll never guess what happened.
No kidding.
It's too much.
What's more stressful? Taking a neighbor's listing, or because knowing that you have your sign on your street. Now, would you take an overpriced listing from a neighbor? Because you know how they like to test the market, and then because you couldn't sell it, they blame you. Oh, I couldn't sell my house, and it's overpriced. Would you take an overpriced listing from a neighbor?
No. So we are a very small business at Foster Living, and we don't take overpriced anything. Anytime I take a listing, it's coming out of my checking account.
Yeah.
And so we are really close and careful. That being said, when we lived downtown on Oak Avenue, Lansdale, which is this Hamilton downtown neighborhood. Yeah. It's not industrial by any means. It was a hubbub of shopping and interesting things 100 years ago. Now it's different. I call it flavorful. But it has a really high turnover rate. So I'd say you're either stuck there generationally or every 5 years these houses are turning over. So I did 5 neighbors on the street while we lived there.
And you sold every one of them?
Every single one of them.
Good for you.
And we did a good job of it. And I'll tell you, the pressure wasn't in meeting the neighbors' expectations. It wasn't about having my face on the lawn. That was kind of cute. The pressure was, who the hell's the new neighbor going to be?
Oh, right.
And so I should be separated from this.
Yeah, no kidding.
I'm on my front porch with my hood up, smoking, watching people come and go, thinking like, is that my new? They don't look very friendly. Or there's too few of them. Or
they got a pit bull as a dog. Forget it.
He's going to make Scott look short. This is bad for his ego. And the investment really came in. Who the hell is moving in? Yeah. And because when we lived down there, we owned 2 properties on the street. One that I had bought for myself. And when our family started to grow, it was too small. So my mom lived in it, and then 2 doors down was us. So as stressed out as I was, who's going to be our neighbor when I sold those homes, I have my mother to contend with. And she was in a semi. I brought my mother's share a wall neighbor to her house, and that is pressure like you've never felt before.
Yeah, it is a lot of pressure, and especially they want too much. So I had my dentist. So he calls me up, and he had it listed before, and I'm like, I think you're overpriced. And he goes, well, we want to do it. And so we did it. We get him an offer. And it wasn't nowhere near, but it was what the value was. He didn't take it. And I had my son, Dan, I said, just like, don't push to renew it. Let's just let it go. And they've listed it after us, and they didn't sell it. This guy, I don't get it. Why? This is actually the dentist's parents, and the dentist and the sister was involved, and I don't get it. They were born here. They understand how the system works, but they've got this. They want so much money for this house that's not worth it. And I don't know why they're hanging on so long for it. I don't know if it's the parents that are saying they want that much money. And I should have said no on that one. I should have said no, and I didn't. And I do say no more often now. And it's just not worth it. But if I know there's motivation, like there has to be motivation. If they're just moving because they're just moving, it's not worth it. But if they're moving because they're relocating, and they have a reason to move, I'll go for it and maybe get the price reductions. But otherwise,
when you're dealing with people's parents, this is a real catch-22. There's up to an 8-year wait for some senior living homes in the area where we live right now. So if those people put their name on that list and we're thinking about getting their affairs in order, it could be 2 to 3 years before they have a place to go to.
So they don't care.
They don't care. But here's the other thing. When they finally get that call, it is thousands of dollars a month. All of a sudden, your home equity
big time.
is what's keeping you alive at an Amica.
Yeah, no kidding.
And I think you and I both do that every day when we're dealing with our senior clients. And I wish that your house was worth what you want it to be worth. We all do. Yeah. I would like you to live comfortably.
Yeah.
But it isn't. And we have a new listing coming up. And they were listed previously again. We call these cleanup jobs. And I love it because there's several different things to clean up. Marketing, obviously. What did they do and what can we do better? But right now, price is the leading force in all of this. And I said, I got to be honest with you. I'm looking at a 30% decrease over what you were listed for in the spring. And they laughed. They said, yeah, that makes sense. We were greedy.
See that?
I said, well, on someone else's dime.
Well, no kidding. Well, another one that happened to me, a really good friends of ours, the property was worth $3.5 million. Okay. Should have been listed at $3.5 million. He calls me up and says, I know we just got a few minutes here. He calls me up and says, Rob, will you list it for $5 million? I go, really? And okay, we'll list it for $5 million. Had it for a while, didn't go. So we let it go. Then he calls somebody else to list it, just $3.7 million.
Oh, that hurt.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
So I was the guinea pig.
Yeah.
And you know what? I just said, I just felt I was used, and I haven't seen him since. But I like to make a comment and say, hey, I guess I was used as a guinea pig.
Yeah, why didn't I have that opportunity
I just say what
for success?
I could. You know what? If they listed at what I said, then I probably would have sold that. But no, they wanted me as the $5 million listed at $5 million, which was way overpriced, like $1.5 million almost. They ended up getting under 3.5.
And they took it. And
well, they took it but I didn't get it. I didn't get the sale. I'm the one. I was the guinea pig. And so anyway,
Well, speaking of guinea pigs, you left us last week with one of your harrowing real estate stories, and I want to hit you with mine.
Okay, let's go for it. We got one last.
Okay, so the very first door I ever unlocked, okay, I'm a young woman. I've received a cold call. I've never met these people in my life, and I'm going to show them 4 or 5 places downtown they'd like to be investors. So we introduce ourselves on the side of the road. I go and unlock a frozen lockbox with some dramatics, and we enter a home off of the main street, so King Street in Hamilton. And it was a 4 square. And if you're familiar, that means there's a front hallway and then literally 4 squares. So we go to the right and we're circling around square 1. No problem. It's a living room, vacant. Square 2, there's shampoo on the fireplace. Weird, but like we're downtown. It's refuse, no problem. Square 3 is the kitchen. It's in need of repair. Perfect for an investor. Square 4, 3 men sleeping on the floor. We got buggies.
Whoa.
We got sleeping bags, and I don't have as much as a hairpin on me. Now, I am 5'2" at varying weights.
No kidding.
I am with complete strangers. We backtracked around the remaining 3 squares and got the hell out of Dodge as quick as possible.
So were they vagrants living there?
Absolutely.
No kidding.
They found a warm place to be, and God bless them. It's not about them. It's about us and about the real estate journey. But
no kidding.
Imagine the very first house I ever showed anyone.
Wow.
And there are 3 men sleeping on the floor. I ran.
I would, yeah. I don't know what I guess I would have called the owners and said, "Hey, listen, you got some people here." But I mean, I'm a guy, I'm sure they're not able. I'm sure they were just as scared as you were.
Yeah. They were asleep. They didn't wake up.
They didn't wake up.
They
were on drugs. They were on drugs.
They were having one of those day naps. They were ready for their Saturday night.
Well, we're actually out of time, guys. Listen, thanks for listening. And don't forget to like and share if you like this. We're going to try this and keep going with this. And I just appreciate you listening. Lynsey Foster Living, myself, Rob Golfi, here with REMAX, the Golfi team. Thanks for listening.